You're putting in grueling hours every single day, just grinding it out. You stare at your bank account and feel completely stuck in the mud. You desperately want to build real, generational wealth. But between the long commute and the constant emails, you have absolutely zero time to read 40 different financial books. That's exactly why we put this explainer together for you. We are bypassing the fluff. This is your exact roadmap from 0 to 8 figures. Let me ask you a very direct question. Would you rather have $3 million in cold hard cash placed in your hands today? Or would you take a single penny that doubles every day for a month? Think about it for a second. Your answer reveals exactly how you're currently wired to view money. You absolutely want the penny. Because by day 31, that tiny piece of copper becomes $10,700,000. That staggering number is a massive wake-up call, isn't it? It perfectly illustrates the unmatched power of compound interest and leverage. It's not about what you earn today. It's about how you set your money up to multiply for you tomorrow. Right now, you're playing a rigged game. You're dealing with a strictly capped salary and incredibly high daily stress. Society essentially wants you to be a model citizen. They want you mediocre, perfectly obedient, and totally dependent on your next paycheck just to survive. But we're going to break you out. Here is your roadmap. First, master your money mindset. Second, generate high-value systems. Third, leadership and scaling up. And finally, taking action today. Let's dive right into phase 1, master your money mindset. We are taking you from absolute zero to your first $100,000. Morgan Housel points out a fascinating truth in his book, The Psychology of Money. He says that wealth is actually what you don't see. Real wealth isn't a flashy sports car sitting in the driveway on a bad lease. True wealth is having total control over your schedule. It's having the absolute freedom to do what you want whenever you want to do it. You have to build aggressive habits to completely rewire your brain. Start by stacking new productive habits onto the ones you already do every day. Next, treat every 12 weeks like a full calendar year to create a real sense of urgency. You need to secure small wins every single day. Winning physically boosts your brain's testosterone receptors, creating an unstoppable biological momentum. Finally, write your tasks down. You've got to free up your mental bandwidth for high-level thinking. Here's the deal. Amateurs merely want to succeed. The wealthy actually need to succeed. You must metaphorically burn your ships right now. Leave yourself absolutely no choice but to push forward. Focus intensely on the daily process instead of just staring at that distant goal. Guard your time by fiercely saying no to distractions. Moving on to phase 2. Generate high-value systems. This is the crucial leap from $100,000 to $1 million. Let's look at two guys. An investment banker makes $500,000 a year, but grinds out 80 grueling hours a week. Meanwhile, an e-commerce entrepreneur makes $40,000, but only works 4 hours a week. Relative income always trumps absolute income. The entrepreneur is actually far richer when you look at free time and his actual hourly rate. Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant divides the working world into 4 distinct groups. 2. Employees and the self-employed are trapped on the left side, constantly trading their time for money. Business owners and investors are liberated on the right side. You absolutely must migrate to the right side of this quadrant. That is exactly where you leverage other people's time and money to build your empire. Where you choose to compete completely dictates your wealth. Only 39% of total market profits come from fiercely competitive red oceans. But a massive 61% of profits come from newly created, competition-free blue oceans. Stop fighting bloody, exhausting battles in crowded industries. If you do that, you're really just fighting for scraps. A blue ocean strategy means entering a pristine market with zero competition. Out here, you can dominate for decades without constantly looking over your shoulder. Now, you can't easily manufacture human desire from scratch. So your job is to meticulously build a product that fulfills what people already deeply crave. You might be sitting there thinking you lack a $1 million idea. Well, let's fix that right now, using a brilliant framework from the book Disrupt You. Write down exactly 3 things that annoy you every single day. Congratulations, you now have 90 highly practical business ideas a month. That simple daily exercise completely eliminates the excuse of not knowing what to build. That brings us to phase 3, leadership and scaling up. This is how you scale from $1 million to $10 million and well beyond. To scale up, you have to understand how the human brain actually makes decisions. Oren Klaff's Pitch Anything breaks it down perfectly. You first must break through the primal emotional croc brain. Then you carefully navigate the social midbrain. Finally, you appeal to the highly logical neocortex. Remember, humans are deeply emotional creatures. We make massive decisions based entirely on feelings, and then we frantically use logic to justify them later. To lead effectively at this level, you must utilize Simon Sinek's Golden Circle 6. Always start with why. That is your core, unshakable belief. Then you move to how. This is your specific process. You end with what. That is the final tangible result. Great leaders inspire fierce loyalty from the inside out. They never just bark shallow orders from the outside in. Now, here is a blunt, slightly uncomfortable truth from the 48 Laws of Power. 7. Law 11 explicitly states you must learn to keep people dependent on you. If you can be easily replaced, you have absolutely zero real power in the marketplace. You need to aggressively develop a unique stock of skills that is physically impossible for anyone else to replicate. Let's secure your financial foundation, all right? Sales minus profit equals expenses. This is the life-saving formula from the book Profit First. Most businesses fail because founders invest way too heavily in bloated expenses and leave absolutely nothing for themselves. You have to brutally guarantee your profit first. Ensure your business actually puts money in your pocket instead of just bleeding cash. You also urgently need to adopt the hedgehog mentality. You have to ignore the endless, blinding distractions all around you. Specialize in one highly specific niche. Become the absolute best in the entire world at it. A hedgehog survives against a very clever fox by doing one thing perfectly every single time. Find your one thing and do it perfectly. So, let's review the highly structured path we just walked through together. Phase 1 takes you to 100,000 by mastering your daily habits. Phase 2 pushes you to 1 million by aggressively leveraging systems. And Phase 3 scales you beyond 10 million through elite leadership and relentless hyperfocus. Which brings us to the final step, Phase 4, taking action today. This is where we choose practice over theory. All of this high-level theory means absolutely nothing without execution. Will you stay unscripted and trapped in the matrix, or will you step up and secure your first small win today? You need to burn your ships and take one undeniable action right now. The compounding penny is waiting on the table for you today, so go out there and pick it up.